What is your name, please?
My name is Steve Martini.
What is your name, please?
My name is Steve Martini.
What is your name, please?
My name is Steve Martini.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one of them is the real Steve Martini, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. And here is our host, Bud Collyer.
Thank you very much. Good evening. As you know, we play a game of deliberate misrepresentation here, in which four presumably smart people try to find out which one of three challengers has sworn to tell the truth. To Tell the Truth is brought to you each week by Geritol, America's #1 tonic, the high-potency tonic that helps you feel stronger fast. Right now, let's meet our cross-examiners. What is your name, please?
My name is Polly Bergen.
I'm Ralph Bellamy.
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
And I'm Gardner.
I can attest that these people are telling nothing but the truth. Now, these three people all claim to be Steve Martini. Of course, only one is the real Steve Martini. The other two have assumed that identity, and of course, they do not have to stick to the truth. Now, panel, in front of you, there is a copy of an affidavit. Will you please listen while I read it? I, Steve Martini, am a barber, and I own 3 barber shops and a beauty salon in and around Washington, D.C. I have cut the hair of many famous people, including General Marshall, Press Secretary James Haggerty, and Vice President Nixon. Perhaps the most interesting thing about me, however, is the fact that I am the personal barber for President Dwight D. Eisenhower. I swear that the above statement is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Signed, Steve Martini. Now, we'll get along with our game in just a moment, but first, here's my good friend Bob Shepard with a word about Geritol.
Well, thank you very much, Bud. Now, friends, have you noticed that more and more often you're beginning to feel tired and run down? Well, this may happen, especially after a cold, flu, sore throat, or fever, when you may feel weakened because of iron deficiency anemia. We call it tired blood. Take Geritol every day, either liquid or tablets. You will feel stronger fast within 7 days or your money back. And mothers, remember, after sickness, help your child gain strength fast. Give him Geritol Jr., the ideal tonic for growing children.
Well, it's time now to play our game, panel. These three people all claim to be Steve Martini, President Eisenhower's personal barber. Remember that the real Steve Martini is the only one required to answer your questions truthfully. Now, you will each question until you hear this signal, and at the end of the questioning period, you will be asked to register your vote as to which one, in your opinion, is the real Steve Martini. And let's start tonight with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Number 2, do you charge less for a haircut if the man doesn't have very much hair?
No.
You don't? It's the same, huh?
Same.
Doesn't seem fair somehow. Number 1, could you tell me what do you charge President Eisenhower for a haircut?
The same as we charge anyone else that goes out, when a barber goes out to give a haircut, he pays the same price.
I see. Are you a Democrat or a Republican, sir?
I'm in the middle of the road.
Oh.
I'm a barber.
Republican?
I'm a barber.
You lean more toward being a Republican. Well, do you find you have less to talk about when you're talking to a Democrat?
No, they're both very interesting. Republicans
Number
and
3,
Democrats.
could you tell me, where does General Marshall live? Where is his home?
Well, his home is in Arlington, Virginia.
Ralph Bellamy.
Number 3, you seem to have a kind of a suntan there. You didn't get that on the golf course, did you?
Yes, I play a little golf.
You do. I wonder if you could tell me, number 3, where is the wart on James Haggerty's neck?
I have never seen that wart.
Number 2, who is President Eisenhower's private secretary?
Miss Whitman.
Number 1, answer the same question.
Mrs. Whitman.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 2, do you also shave President Eisenhower as well as cut his hair?
Sometimes.
Number 1, does he allow you to talk while you're shaving him?
Sometimes.
Does he talk to you?
Oh, yes.
Number 3, could you tell me what idiosyncrasies General Marshall, Vice President Nixon, and Mr. Haggerty share while they're in the barber chair? If any.
Well, I would say that the most talkative is Nixon.
Does he tell you stories?
No, he does not.
Hi, Gardner.
Number 2, I'm going to repeat a question that was asked before. Are you a Democrat or a Republican?
Are you asking me?
Number 2.
I primarily am a barber.
Okay, you trim me on that one. Now, number 2, you say you cut the hair of Jim Haggerty. Now, customers generally talk to patrons and vice versa. Has Haggerty got an ulcer?
That I wouldn't know.
Number 2, again, who is Murray Snyder?
Murray Snyder is one of the many politicians around there.
Number 1, who is Murray Snyder?
I'm sorry, Hi. Polly.
Gee, I want to know where that wart is on Jim Haggerty's neck. Number 1, do you know about a wart?
I don't recall ever seeing one.
Ralph, are you sure that he's got a wart?
I'm not up there.
By George, it's interesting, though, isn't it? Number 1...
Time is up, I'm sorry to say, but that makes it time to vote. So, panel, without consultation, will you please mark your ballots? And in so doing, select either number 1, number 2, or number 3. May I have the ballots, please? Now remember that the challengers will get $250 for every incorrect vote. That means if they fool our entire panel, they may divide from Geritol $1,000. Here is Polly Bergen's ballot, and she votes for number 2. Why, Polly?
Well, I felt that the gentleman, number 2, knew more about the personalities in Washington than I could get from the other 2 gentlemen.
Ralph Bellamy selected number 3. What was your reason, Ralph?
Well, it was that wart. Jim Haggerty hasn't got a wart. Number 3 looks so... I know him, and I don't think he has a wart. The number 3 was pretty sure of that.
Kitty Carlisle selected number 2. What was your reason, Kitty?
Well, I think number 2 looks trustworthy enough to go near the President of the United States with a razor.
And Hi Gardner voted for number 2. Hi, what was your reason?
Well, I picked on 2. I was a little confused between 2 and 3, but I knew that it might have been one of them because I've never seen a barber yet who had hair.
Which can mean that it can only be number 1.
Well, all right, folks, the votes are in now, and our panel cannot change their collective minds. I hope you won't at home, because right now, let's find out which one of these gentlemen is President Eisenhower's personal barber. Will the real Steve Martini please stand? Well, there's the reputation for all time about bald-headed barbers. Number 2, would you tell us who you really are and what you do?
My real name or adopted name, Albert of Fifth Avenue, knowing probably the country over, and I design and make toupees for men.
I beg your pardon, Ralph?
He didn't make one for number 1, did he?
I doubt it. Number 3, who are you really and what do you do?
My name is Victor L. Anfuso, and I'm a member of Congress and a Democrat. And if I may, I'd like to apologize to President Eisenhower and Mrs. Eisenhower for not being at the White House tonight at the reception which they are giving to congressmen and their wives. I thought it best to come here to make this bipartisan.
Well, gentlemen, I think you'll agree it was worthwhile, too, when you realize that there were 4 incorrect votes for a total of $1,000 from Geritol for you gentlemen to divide. Thank you for being with us. Good night and good luck to you. Now may we have our next team of challengers, please.
What is your name, please?
My name is Alan Freed.
What is your name, please?
My name is Alan Freed.
What is your name, please?
My name is Alan Freed.
Now, panel, will you listen while I read this affidavit, a copy of which you find in front of you. I, Alan Freed, am married and the father of 4 children. My first job was as a disc jockey playing classical music on a small-town radio station. But I am better known these days as the king of rock and roll. I created the phrase rock and roll in 1951 and was the first disc jockey to exploit the music under that name. I have played the part of myself in 3 motion pictures, and I'm glad to say that the crowds at our recent opening at the Paramount Theater in New York broke both the police lines and the single-day attendance record. I swear that the above statement is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Signed, Alan Freed. Now, we'll begin our questioning in just 60 seconds. But first, I wonder if you ever said to yourself, I feel so tired lately. I must do something about it. Well, if you often feel tired and run down, especially after a cold or flu, sore throat, or fever, remember, your weak, run-down condition may be due to what doctors call iron deficiency anemia. We call it, more simply, tired blood. So you check with your doctor. And to feel stronger fast, here's what to do. Take Geritol, the high-potency tonic that strengthens tired blood. In only 1 day, Geritol iron is in your bloodstream, carrying strength and energy to every part of your body. Just 2 tablespoons of liquid Geritol or 2 Geritol tablets contain twice the iron in a pound of calf's liver. So if you want to end that tired, run-down feeling due to tired blood, and especially after a winter illness, take Geritol, liquid or tablets, every day, and you'll feel stronger fast within 7 days or your money back. Get Geritol at your drugstore now. All right, time once again to play the game. These 3 people, panel, remember, all claim to be Alan Freed, the king of rock and roll. Remember once again, please, that only the real Alan Freed is required to answer your questions truthfully. Again, you'll each question till you hear the signal, and at the end of the questioning period, you'll be required to register your vote. This time, let's start with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Number 1, what caused you to name rock and roll music rock and roll? Was it something onomatopoeic about it? Did it sound like rock and roll, or what was it?
Well, just sort of came to me. Back about 4 years ago when rock and roll really started to come into itself. I kind of felt the beat and the rock and the roll of it. I coined it, stuck, the kids liked it.
Number 2, could you tell me what actual physical damage was caused to the Paramount Theater on that famous opening day?
Well, I believe the total physical damage was about 30 theater seats.
Is that all?
That's all.
The box office wasn't damaged?
I think the box office was damaged from the crush outside.
Hi, Gardner.
Well, number 1, you were once a classical music disc jockey. How would you pronounce the name T-C-H-A...
Tchaikovsky?
Yes. Thank you. Number 1, what is the name of the manager of the New York Paramount?
Oh, Bob Shapiro.
Number 3, what is the name of Frank Sinatra's father?
His name is Mr. Sinatra.
Number 1, do you know his first name? Do you know his first name?
His first name?
Frank
no,
Sinatra's father?
Never come to my attention.
Number 3, where did Colonel Tom Parker, Elvis Presley's manager, get his commission? What branch of the Army?
In the Army.
Number 1?
Polly Bergen.
Number 3, could you tell me the Platters' first big record?
The Platters' big record now?
No, their first one.
I'm sorry.
Number 1, could you tell me the Platters' first big record?
Tender Love.
Number 2, could you tell me the Platters' first big record?
Only You.
That isn't the one I remember. Number 1, don't you feel a little guilty sometimes?
About what?
About bringing about this whole terrible thing.
Well, I dare say if you ask the originators of Charleston, the Black Bottom, something like that, it might be just as pointed a question.
None of us goes back that far.
No, I don't know about
Bellamy?
that.
Number 3, you say you've made 3 pictures.
That's right.
What were the pictures?
First one was Rock Around the Clock.
What studio did you make that picture?
Columbia.
Columbia. What's the address of Columbia Studio?
Well, the studio where we worked was Sunset and Gower.
Uh-huh. Who's the director?
Director, Joe Levin.
Uh-huh. Number 1. What was the second picture?
Rock, Rock, Rock.
And who directed it?
Joe Teig.
What studio?
Columbia.
Same place.
Same place.
Number 3, what was the third picture?
Third picture was the one that broke all the records at the Paramount and still breaking them all over the world now. Namely, Don't Knock the Rock.
I didn't ask for a plug. I just asked for the picture.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 3, what are your children's ages?
Well, I have one that's 11. You said number 3, didn't you?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Ronnie's 11, Danny's 9, Carol's 3, and Barbara's 1.5.
And with that, our time has run out, panel. I'm sorry to say, but it is time now to please mark your ballots with no consultation and select, once again, either number 1, number 2, or number 3. May I have the ballots, please?
Did I get the right one? Oh, I guess so.
All right, first we have here Polly Bergen's ballot, as usual. This time she votes for number 1. What's your reason on that, Polly?
I hate that dirty laugh in the audience. Well, I have a feeling I'm wrong now, but I voted for number 1 because he knew that Bob Shapiro was the manager of the Paramount Theater.
Ralph Bellamy selected number 2. Your reason, Ralph?
I haven't got a very strong one. It's just a sort of an impulse, I'm afraid.
Kitty Carlisle has selected also number 2. Why, Kitty?
Well, I felt that number 2 looked like the only one that had enough stamina to have 4 children.
Clyde Gardner voted for number 3. Hi, why?
Well, because I think he looks unhealthy enough to be a disc jockey. Great tale.
All right, the votes are in. Our minds are made up. I don't know whether yours are or not, but we'll find out how close you were. We'll find out right now which of these gentlemen is the king of rock and roll. Will the real Alan Freed please stand? Thank you very much, Alan.
Hey, I think Ralph should remember me because he opened the door for my wife for a taxi cab about 10 years ago here in New York on a rainy night.
Certainly should remember on that basis. All right, number 1, tell us who you really are.
My name is Lou Zeidler. I'm an insurance broker, and I specialize in insuring television shows. This insurance covers these shows against fraudulent and libelous statements.
And number 3, your name and occupation, please.
My name's Charles Dodsley Walker, and I'm organist and choir master of the Church of the Heavenly Rest on 5th Avenue at 90th Street.
All right, let's see how we stand. There were 2 incorrect votes worth $250 each, which means a total of $500 from Geritol for our team of challengers. Divide it, enjoy it. Thank you, gentlemen. Good night and good luck. Now may we have our next team of challengers, please.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mrs. Arthur Whitaker.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mrs. Arthur Whitaker.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mrs. Arthur Whitaker.
Now, panel, will you please listen and follow along while I read you this affidavit? I, Mrs. Arthur H. Whitaker, am married and live in Las Vegas, Nevada, with my husband. Our jobs are strangely complementary, since I run a roulette wheel and deal 21 in the gambling casino at El Rancho Vegas, and my husband runs a pawn shop nearby. When I am not working, I spend part of my time prospecting for minerals in the mountains and part in the study of the Indian philosophy of yoga. I swear that the above statement is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Signed, Mrs. Arthur H. Whitaker. Now, we'll start our cross-examination in just a minute. But first, here's a message about another one of our sponsors' fine products, Zaraman.
Does cold weather bring out the misery of common rheumatic and arthritic-like pains? Do you suffer from pain of stiff, aching joints whenever the weather turns damp and chilly? Well, try the important new advance, Zaraman. Zaraman is especially designed to give you more freedom from common rheumatic and arthritic-like pains or your money back. That's because Zaraman offers this new advance. It is actually a pill within a pill. Now, this is a Zaraman pill, and let's look inside the pill. As you see, Zaraman contains an outer pill that brings fast, effective temporary relief and an inner pill that brings more relief hours later, thus giving longer, lasting relief. As a result, when you take Zaraman, you enjoy more freedom from common rheumatic and arthritic-like pains, and thus more freedom of movement, too. Zaraman is safe, taken as directed. If pain persists, see your doctor. Get Zaraman at your drugstore now. And to save $1, buy the economy size.
All right, these three people all claim to be Mrs. Arthur H. Whitaker, who runs a roulette wheel. Panel, our time is short. We may have to cut you short. Let's start with Gardner.
Well, number one, which of the famous hotels on the Strip has cottages named after racetracks?
I'm not sure, but I believe it's the Desert Inn.
Number two, can you answer that?
That is the Desert Inn.
Number three, can you answer that?
It is the Desert Inn.
Number two, I would like to ask you this question. What famous movie actress was killed in a crash in a mountain that is visible from Las Vegas?
I couldn't tell you.
Polly Bergen.
Number three, what does the phrase crimping a deck mean?
Crimping a deck?
Yes.
I wouldn't know.
Number two, what does the phrase crimping a deck mean?
We don't use it.
Number one, what does crimping a deck mean?
That's bending the cards.
Number two, could you tell me, does a dealer hit a soft 17?
A soft 17 can
Yes.
be hit, yes.
Number three, could you tell me what does the double zero on a roulette wheel pay?
35 to 1.
Number...
Ralph?
Number three, in case of a tie in 21, what happens?
It's a push. No one...
A push. Is there any rule?
I'm sorry. You say we're the dealer and the
Yes.
player.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
You're
sorry. It's the
dealing
dealer.
and
Yes,
we
the dealer.
tie?
The dealer wins.
The dealer wins.
Exactly.
Number two, is there any rule about drawing or standing so far as the dealer's concerned? Can you at will continue to draw, or must you?
Well, you must stop. House rules, of course, are set depending on where you deal, but at the El Rancho, you must stop with a picture and an ace. With your ace, with your picture and 7. Excuse me.
Kitty?
Number three, what game can you win the most at in Las Vegas?
Roulette.
And what can you lose the most at?
At any table.
Number three, do you do physical yoga?
Well, it's yoga, yes.
You do physical yoga. You don't just go in for the philosophy of it.
Oh, no.
You do physical yoga. Number three, how long is an article kept in a pawn shop if you keep on paying whatever you're supposed to pay?
4 months.
Number two, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. 4 months is correct.
You can keep an article 4 months.
Yes.
And then it's sold.
Well, yes.
Or is it, what happens to it?
Well, it can be sold or kept. And I have a few items that were left in my husband's pawn shop.
Time's up. It's time to vote. So once again, panel, without consultation, mark your ballots, if you will. You are selecting, remember, either number 1, number 2, or number 3. May I have the ballots, please? Again, first is Polly Bergen's ballot. She votes this time for number 1. Why, Polly?
Because number 1 is the only one who knows that crimping a deck means to mark a deck.
Ralph Bellamy selected number 1. What was your reason, Ralph?
Number 3 gave what I consider to be an incorrect answer to a tie, which is a standoff, if I'm correct. And number 2 disqualified on something else. I've forgotten now. Hesitant answer, anyway.
Kitty Carlisle selected number 1. What was your reason, Kitty?
Number 1 has the honest face of a croupier.
And Gardner voted for number 1.
Well, I did because she's a blonde, and blonde makes gamblers work a little bit better and spend more money, I think.
Well, looks like the choice is unanimous, and there's no chance in changing it now, so let's see if it's unanimous with the audience as well. We'll find out now which of these ladies runs a roulette wheel. Will the real Mrs. Arthur H. Whitaker please stand? 100% score for the panel. Number 2, who are you really and what do you do?
My name is Greta Smolo. I'm a housewife and mother in Westport, Connecticut.
Thank you. And number 3, how about you?
I'm Miss Seal Edelman, tax investigator with the U.S. Treasury Department.
Well, as you can see, panel, there were no incorrect votes. You did well on that, but of course we still award our team of challenges $150 in Geritol. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Good night and good luck to you. Well, I must say, I was not informed, panel, before the show which one of these was the real one in any case tonight, and I was guessing rather badly here along with you. I had the young lady at this end up here, the tax investigator, docketed as the right one in this last round.
She got a good Las Vegas suntan.
Yes,
I was fooled by that.
First.
Well, that's what got me. You don't get a suntan in Las Vegas. The only place you get faded on the crap tables and you get tanned when you leave. That's something else. I don't agree with you at all.
I'm afraid you laughed over the end of that. He said you get tanned when you leave, which is quite true. Well, it has been fun, and I will say that you certainly came through in beautiful style, panel, on that last round, getting the whole bit. And I guess our time is just about run out, so good night, panel.
Good night, Bud.
Good night, Bud.
And good night to all of you nice people who played along with us. Until next week, this is Bud Collyer reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
Travel arrangements for To Tell the Truth are made through American Airlines. American Airlines flies our contestants in luxurious comfort aboard DC-7 flagships. To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production. In association with the CBS Television Network.
If you often can't sleep at night, if you toss and turn, your nerves on edge, here's a new aid to sleep that helps you enjoy 100% safe sleep. It's called Sominex. Sominex contains not just 1, but 3 medical ingredients, all working together to help you enjoy safe, natural-like sleep and to help calm down jittery nerves. Sominex contains no narcotics, non-habit-forming. Get Sominex at your drugstore now. Take as directed for 100% safe sleep. Geritol, America's #1 tonic. Geritol, the fast-acting, high-potency tonic that helps you feel stronger fast, has presented To Tell the Truth.
Now, this is Bob Shepard wishing you good night and good health from Pharmaceuticals Incorporated, who brings you Geritol, Zeramin, and other fine quality drugs.
Are you watching, you little rascals?
It's fun, isn't it?
And who subscribes to it?
Go on, push the button.
Think of the fun you could have on
The tube.
The tube?
Tube.
TV tubes.
That's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It's going to be a lot more fun
If you keep going the way you're going. Go on, push the button.
Please subscribe.
I hope they're watching.